Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com and CorrectFemaleCode.com. Okay, so I just got a message from someone, and it was a lady, and she found my men's channel, enjoyed what, and it's kind of funny because it's for men, but women love when I talk about the internal awareness stuff, emotionally fulfilling, all that stuff, the emotionally grounding. So she said, and I said, hey, I've got another channel I think you'd really enjoy. And she came over to our channel here at Mike Colleen, and she noticed the narcissist abuse videos, and she said, wow, what a synchronicity or coincidence, something like that. She's like, I dealt with something like that. And she mentioned something about her heart shutting down, like her emotions. And that is, what happens with narcissists. So the purpose of this video is two things. Number one, what is a narcissist doing, and why does that shut your heart down to the point where you don't even think that God exists anymore? Suddenly you think it was a myth, or it was a, I'll get into that later. The second part is, let me do this first, is the purpose is I share my internal awareness techniques, or talk about them. And I just made a video. I'm going to link this video to that video. So after this video is done, you can click on it and watch it's an actual technique. It's just one step, but it's this technique that can help you really relax. Okay, it'll give you an idea. It's not as internal as the other videos or the other techniques that I teach, but it gives you an actual step-by-step technique. So the purpose of teaching you internal awareness techniques is multifaceted. If you're a man, you're nervous approaching a woman, it helps you to relax. It grounds you. Now, women love it when a man's emotionally grounded. It draws them to you. They open up to you. They talk. And not only that, but it opens you up to your right brain. So now you're on the same page as she is. Women really like this. Another purpose, a higher purpose, maybe not higher, but just as important, is a lot of people were like, you dealt with all the gang stalkers. You dealt with all the stuff that went on. Why are you so solid, grounded, happy? The internal awareness techniques. Because, okay, let's go back to the first part of the video. Here's how a narcissist gets you. A lot of people don't really understand, like, well, okay, for me, I'm going to use me. All my life, I've been connected to spirit. I feel it. I talked to Terrence today about, call it a premonition or prophecy that I did years ago on Facebook but the night before the plane went down in the Indian Ocean or whatever it was over there by India, or I forget the name of the country, years ago, and it just disappeared. The night before, I kept seeing the number 777 over and over. It was just insane. I was writing my book, Cracked Female Code, at Starbucks on California Street in San Francisco, and okay, I get it. God, you're trying to send me a message. I closed my computer, packed up my stuff, and I got in my car, started driving home. Immediately, a car drove up and it had 777 on its license. I thought, maybe a coincidence. And then I saw another one. Then I saw an address that said 777. I was like, okay, this is getting weird. And I'm driving towards the Golden Gate Bridge, going through the tunnel, going across the bridge. Car zooms past me, and what does it say? 777. I don't know if it was a taxi company. It was like an advertisement. I was like, okay, that's weird. Maybe it'd been a gambling place, but whatever. So I get on Highway 101 just past the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm coming home, and a big semi-truck comes by, pulls in front of me, and on a big bold letter says 777. I'm like, okay, I get it. And it was kind of, I don't know if I would say overwhelming, but I just pulled over to kind of, I don't know, clear my head or whatever. And I pulled into a gas station. Guess what the address was? Yep, 777. Or it was 700, sorry, 700. And I thought, this is just too weird. So then I left immediately, and I went home, and I'm going down, took the last left-hand turn at the stoplight. I said, okay, God, if you really are saying something, show me 7 or 777 just one more time. I take a left, the first driveway on the left, when there's never a car there, which is really odd. And it was parked sideways. Instead of like it went in, it was parked sideways. It was an old Herbie Hancock Herbie the VW Bug car back in the 70s. And it had big, thick, bold letter 7 on the door and a big circle, thick circle around it. I go, okay, you're obviously trying to tell me something. So here's the image I got when I was on the highway coming home. It was a big tube, and there was a bunch of people sitting in it. I thought, what? It was a massive tube, like bigger than my ceiling. I thought, what is that? It was an airplane. So I posted it online on my Facebook page, and people were like, what is this, a game? I'm like, no. I posted 777. I'm like, no, I think a lot of people are going to go missing. I don't know what it is. The big tube with a bunch of seats and people sitting on both sides, and it might be an airplane. I'm not sure. Sure enough, the very next morning, an airplane disappeared in Indonesia, the Indian Ocean, or something by India. I mean, you can look it up. And the black boxes were turned off, like they couldn't find it, you know. And all my friends like, well, how did you know? I'm like, I don't know. I always know. I have premonitions. Okay. So here's the deal. After the narcissist abuse, here's what they do. One of the techniques they do is they compliment you. What do? You open your heart. They compliment you again. You open your heart. And then they do a little zinger. See, when your heart's closed, they can't hurt you because it's like dunk, 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 because you got this big, thick wall up, so they can't hurt you. But if they can compliment you again and again and again and get you to open up, then they, like a little tiny needle, just poke you 1 time. But your heart, that really hurts, right? And that's how they get you to close your heart permanently. So why is internal awareness techniques so important? Because for me, it took me, even with the help of another practitioner, I think it took me 3 years or 4 years to really open up emotionally again and to reconnect. Oh man, I felt like I was in prison. I literally felt like I was in prison, like my brain didn't function. It was like I was in darkness. And I bet if you guys have gone through true narcissist abuse, life just seems to be dead. No emotions, no feelings. Because what they're doing is they're closing you off from your right brain. The right brain is the emotional 5 senses, see, hear, feel, smell, and taste processor. That's why life became dark. Food became bland. Because when you leave your right brain, you disconnect from your 5 senses, and thus everything's kind of black and white. It's boring. And you feel like you're in prison, like you can't think, you're not creative, you're not alive, you're not passionate. And that's what I do. If there's one thing that I do, my specialty, my expertise, my mastery is opening people back up to their heart and to their 5 senses, to reconnect and retune into their 5 senses, their emotions, their feelings, their drive to live their life again. It's about being alive. That's what I'm about. That's what this channel is about. That's the work I do. If you have dealt with narcissist abuse, here's another function. If I didn't mention it in this video, I did mention it to her. Real quick, I'm going to say I had a client who went through a really bad divorce. She took everything, hurt him really, really bad. Took the house, car, dog. He'd been paying for the house 12 years before he even met her. And the judge rewarded her the house, the dog, car, everything. It hurt. And it was the second divorce, and his college girlfriend hurt him. So what happened was, he goes, you know, I'm not functioning down there. He had ED, or erectile dysfunction. And he said, what's that about? He goes, I'm like, well, your heart, when it gets hurt, there's an artery in the lower reptilian brain, and it narrows. And it keeps the blood flow from the right brain. You're like, well, what does it have to do with down? It has everything to do with down there. Okay, sex is not a logical experience, even for men. It's not logical. In fact, men that get stuck in their logic, Mr. Happy doesn't perform anymore. He's not happy anymore. So you have to learn how to open up to your right brain again, your emotions and your feelings. And then boom, Mr. Happy turns right back on. So a lot of men take pills for it. It's not healthy. Learn how to open up. Learn how to reconnect and reground. This is a third reason. So if you want to escape the darkness that the narcissist puts you in, if you want to reconnect with God, you want to reconnect with your happiness and joy, get a hold of me. 415-235-2512. You can also get a hold of me at mike@mikecolleen.com. That's Mike, KOLLIN.com. Again, the number is 415-235-2512. That's my cell phone. If you guys need help with life coaching, motivation, belief change, emotional issues, I specialize in emotional healing, energy healing, and spiritual healing, and communication between men and women. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.